Out here. Thanks for agreeing to go on a drive with me to this place, our hanging out spot next to the bins. That's where the cool kids hang out, right? Remember in high school, I was not part of the cool kids, but the cool kids, where did they hang out? They hung out next to the bins. They hung out next to the abandoned toilet block. And you can see that they've been there. If you look on the ground, you will see packets of used condoms, cigarettes, a homemade bong made out of a Gatorade bottle with cut up pieces of a garden hose. Oh man, those were the good old days. Oh, by the way, do you like my jackets? Check this out. I made it myself. I guess we are part of the cool kids now, yeah? Because we are hanging out next to the bins. I cannot offer you a cigarette because, number one, I do not smoke. Number two, it's bad for my health. For me especially, I know it's gonna be bad for my health. I don't know about you, but it's gonna be bad for me. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all. I don't know why I started smoking. Just to look cool, I guess. A lot of people started smoking because it looks cool, but it's actually not that good for your health, by the way. And I don't know why some of my colleagues still smoke. Even though we are healthcare workers, we do make a lot of bad life choices because we are one of you guys. We are just another human being. Most people forgot that doctors and nurses, they're not invincible. They get sick as well. A doctor needs their own doctor. I had 2 suicide attempts. I am now a nurse. So, you know, we do get broken up from time to time because we are all people like you and me. We are all human beings. And like I said in my last video, you need an external source in order to examine yourself. You cannot look at yourself holistically using your own judgment. You cannot look at yourself fully unless your eyes can protract out of your skull and look back at yourself. You can never do that. You need a mirror, a camera, or a doctor, or a therapist, or a friend, whatever. And sometimes the mirror might be dirty, sometimes the observer might be retarded. So, what does that mean? We can never understand ourselves, right? Right? Maybe, perhaps. God knows you. God knows you best. Only God knows. Oh yeah, what was I gonna say? You know, a lot of people, they are afraid of expressing their emotion, their thoughts, their beliefs, letting others into their lives, letting others know what they are thinking because they are afraid they're gonna get hurt. And that makes perfect sense. We are social creatures. We are meant to give a shit about what others think of us. Otherwise, we would be all psychopaths. We don't give a fuck, right? Sorry for swearing. I realize I'm trying to be more intentional with my words, and it's just hard. It's just become a habit, you know. Breaking a habit is very hard, and I need to be self-aware, and I need to bring my sins, my errors into the light, you know, because I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid of admitting that I'm wrong. So I'm gonna be more careful from now on. But people are afraid of letting others into their soul, letting others see a part of themselves because they're afraid of getting hurt. Maybe they have done this in the past. They have opened themselves up to others around them. In return, they got rejected, they got heartbroken, and it's painful. I know this because I've been through it, and every single one of you must have gone through it before. How could you say that you've lived life if you haven't experienced rejection, heartbreak, trauma, pain, sorrow. It's part of being alive, man. It's part of being a human being. You're meant to care about others. And so, when you care about others, you would think that, oh, if I say certain things, people are gonna think of me differently. People might reject me. People might not like me anymore. And so you put up this armor, this fake mask, in order to conceal your true emotions, your thoughts from others around you, because you do not want them to think of you this way. You don't want people to see you as being weak, being vulnerable. And it makes perfect sense, I get it. But at the same time, it comes at a cost, and the cost is loneliness. The cost is alienation. The cost is disconnection from others around you. Because even though you might feel like putting this armor on will protect you from the judgments of others, it does come at a cost. It comes at the cost because others cannot read you. How many times have you sat down with your co-workers at the lunchtime table, and that one co-worker who is very nice, that co-worker was me, by the way, who is very nice, who gets along with everybody, but every time he opens his mouth to say something, nobody say anything back to him. People just let it slide. People just acknowledge it and then move on. Because why? Because what he shared was not himself. It lacks personality, it lacks emotion, it lacks soul. I like this yogurt. I always buy it from the shop. I love it. I just love it. Every time it's on discount, I just have to stock up on those. I just love this yogurt so much. Oh yeah? That's cool. I also like yogurts. I think they're healthy. Man, how many times have you been stuck in those conversations? Or another conversation goes like this. So what did you do last weekend? I hung out with my partner. We went to this barbecue thing. There was lots of food. We took our kids as well. Yeah, it was nice. I like it. What about you? I'm not saying these things are inherently bad things to say, but if you want a deeper sense of connection, you've got to open yourself up more. Why is this yogurt so good? Was it the texture? Was it the amount of sugar? Was it because it comes with a toy that reminds you of your childhood? A Ben 10 toy. You know, I loved Ben 10 as a kid. I lived in a post-Vietnam War childhood, I guess, where individuality, religion, stuff like that is frowned upon. My parents, I guess they are a little bit authoritative. They want us to be model citizens. They want us to fit in, to achieve success academically. That's our idea of success. And so they would be sending me to these schools after hour, these tutors, to get my math and my English skills up. That's what I spent my time doing back in Vietnam. I went to these schools. And even in Australia, my parents, even though they are less strict with me in Australia, they still wanted me to study and get good grades and stuff like that. So I grew up, on the one hand, I tried to please my parents, I tried to get good grades, I tried to study hard, to not party, to not go out. So I never thought about partying as a kid. But on the other hand, I also yearned for this freedom. I wanted freedom, man. It comes at a cost when your parents are strict, when they want you to achieve good grades. It comes at a cost. That cost is my individuality, my self-expression. if you went to high school with me, you would notice that I'm a little bit off. Like, I was part of the nerdy kids, but I also, like, in my own lane, I was kind of weird. I don't really fit in anywhere. I had spiky hair, healed up spiky hair. That's my idea of expression. That's my safest idea of expression, because I couldn't dye my hair, nor I can get piercing, nor, I don't know, what else could you do to stand out as a kid? Have school shoes. I never had any of that. My parents didn't buy me the Omnitrix that I so wanted back in primary school, so I had to be creative and made my own Omnitrix out of cardboard. One day I decided to wear that to school, but my mom shut me down. She said, nah, don't do that. It's weird. Other kids, look around you. Nobody has spiky hair. Nobody wears Omnitrix. Don't do that. You're gonna get made fun of. So what? I'm weird as fuck. I'm really weird nowadays, as you can tell. But I'm not afraid anymore. When you open yourself up, when you let others into your life, when you show them your soul, you will find that others will often do the same. They might not initially do it, but when they realize that they can be safe around you, they can be who they really are, they will open themselves up to you. And trust me, I know this because I'm a nurse. While others may make fun of nurses, saying, oh, they're just cleaning bums and changing diapers, and they're not doctors, they don't prescribe medications. I feel so privileged, I feel so lucky to be working at bedside, providing direct care to my patients, because I get to gossip, I get to know my patients, and that's important to me. That's where the meaning comes from. That's where the stories can be told. If you spend enough time with a person, eventually they will open up to you. And because I've rubbed shoulders with so many vulnerable people in their most vulnerable state, in their last moments of life, I get to hear these wonderful stories. People open themselves up to you when they learn a little bit about you. So I would share a bit about myself, and they would open this. I've just opened a can of worms. Have you been to Vietnam? I told them I'm from Vietnam, and that this opened a can of worms. A Vietnam War veteran told me what happened in Nam, what he did, what he saw, the memories he had, the adventures, the camaraderie, everything. And it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I think people, they are afraid of being hurt. But I'm telling you now, you don't have to be afraid. Take that chance. Take that chance. You take that risk, man. Sure, you might be hurt. It's meant to happen at some point or another. But what if? What if you take that risk and people, they will let you see a part of their soul? It's a risk I am willing to take. By opening yourself up, being vulnerable, others will do the same. And if they don't, move on. Not everyone will accept you. You just have to be secure in who you are. You have to be comfortable that this is who you are. And when you're comfortable with the you that you have right now, then you can share yourself with others. Bro, it's cold as... It's so cold, let's go.